Big AI news dropped yesterday on a couple of fronts, so I'm going to have to probably make a couple of videos today. But Claude Sonnet 4.5 is a big one for me as the AI writer. I'm wondering what are the improvements that are coming here because Claude Sonnet is the best writing LLM that I've seen out of all of them. I've tested them all extensively, and it's really enjoyable. I think it does a great job. Now, I not only looked at the Claude Sonnet release, which is more geared towards coding and software coding, as I think they're trying to catch up with ChatGPT on that level and push more into that. We saw that last week, Microsoft actually added Claude into its Copilot program to assist with some of their back-end stuff, which makes it a little interesting as Claude's really trying to broaden its reach and Anthropic's growing. Anthropic recently had a $12 billion investment fund, which is increasing the output here, and very interesting what they're saying. So we're going to go over the Claude release. I'm going to go over some developer reports already that have come out on this that say it's not quite what they hoped it was going to be. And then I'm going to ask Claude exactly what it did for writing to begin with. So please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things AI here. Really appreciate you guys being here. And this is what we got today. So introducing Claude Sonnet 4.5, the best coding model in the world is what they said. It's the strongest model for building complex agents, the best model at using computers, and shows substantial gains in reasoning and math. Code is everywhere. It runs every application, spreadsheet, software tool you use. Being able to use these tools and reason through hard problems is how modern work gets done. Claude 4.5 makes this possible. We're releasing it alongside a major set of upgrades to our projects. In Claude Code, we've added checkpoints, one of our most requested features, that save your progress and allow you to roll back instantly to a previous state. We've refreshed the terminal interface and shipped a native VS Code extension, added a new context editing feature and memory tool to the Claude API that lets agents run even longer and handle even greater complexity. In Claude's apps, we've brought code execution and file creation directly to the conversation. We've made Claude for Chrome extension, that's a big one as well, available for Max users who wanted to waitlist last month. We're also giving developers the building blocks to use ourselves to make Claude code. We're calling this Claude Agent SDK, and the infrastructure that powers our frontier projects and allows them to fulfill their potential is now yours to build with. This is one of the most aligned frontier models we've ever released, showing large improvements across several areas of alignment compared to previous Claude models. Claude Sonnet 4.5 is available everywhere today. If you're a developer, simply use Claude Sonnet 4.5 via the Claude API. Pricing remains the same as Claude Sonnet 4 at $3 per million tokens. So that's great that it is the same on this level. And so here is the state-of-the-art verified evaluation for software engineering. And you could see what they're touting right here versus Opus and Sonnet 4. So the coding is even better than Opus, and this is tool use, computer use, high school math competition at 100% on Python and 87% no tools, beating out here. Graduate level reasoning, higher than both. Multilingual Q&A, and it looks like multilingual Q&A is slightly better in Opus still. Visual reasoning and financial analysis is even better, the finance agent, interestingly enough. And they say it's way better than GPT-5 and Gemini, of course. Now, I hope Opus will catch up on this level as well, because Opus is quite an interesting deal. Maybe they'll have an Opus 4.5 coming out very, very soon. So we'll see what happens with all of this right here. Now, as this came out, a coding site actually said that software developers are saying it's not quite there. There's a more complex story than what's saying. Anthropic released 4.5, claiming it delivers top performance, bench-verified test that measures how models perform at real-world software development tasks. This benchmark beat the competition. Key improvements include extended focus, better code structure, enhanced computer use, and same pricing. So the real-world testing shows something else a little bit. YouTuber Bijan Bowen conducted extensive testing across different coding tasks. His results are a more different story than it is. So it's got, it works at the 3D racing game success. A web-based racing game is built. 2D shooter game, and 4.5 created an engaging 2D shooter game. Then the Imagine with Claude feature, the most impressive part was the real-time app building. As you click buttons, Claude writes the codes to make them work instantly, which is pretty neat. Where it fails, though, is UI design problems. When asked to create a browser-based operating system, Bijan called it very mid for something touted as the best coding model in the world. Number 2 is 3D graphics disaster. For a Python 3D shooter, the game logic worked, the enemies appeared, scoring worked, health went down, but the graphics were broken, showing mostly black screens. Not very good on that level. So developers also have said some things that it struggles with the UI is one here. Another one says Antropic just dropped, and then we have been testing it for a few days. Here's what we found: it's smarter and faster than Opus. Solved a nasty bug from Opus 4.1 was failing at, and let's open this up so we can grab this. It's 5x cheaper than Opus, which is the big deal. Same pricing as the old Sonnet, so no reason to use Opus in the API anymore. It's Sonnet all day. And it's not as good for tricky production PRs and GPT-5 codecs, is what they said. Overall, if you're a Claude code stan, this is a huge update. And so that is better for Claude. Versus Codex says still terrible. Companies say great things, but developers are saying otherwise on this. Now, on the writing front, I asked Claude exactly what it does for the writing here. It says I don't have detailed information about this. Well, that's not that useful. What I can tell you is 4.5 is described as the smartest model. Well, that doesn't help. Will the prose writing be better? Will it follow prompts more closely? Less AI-isms? Based on general progressions of models, it would typically show improvements over 4.1 areas like following instructions more precisely. That's a good thing. More natural prose. Reduce AI-isms like overly formal language, hedging phrases, or predictable sentence structures. That's a good thing. Better understanding of nuance, picking up the subtle cues about what kind of writing style you're looking for. That said, I don't have access to a specific benchmark comparison or release notes. If you're working on creative writing or content where style really matters, you could test both models with the same prompt to see which output you prefer. Be very explicit with your prompts to avoid AI-isms, and then provide examples of the style you want. Okay. Can you write me a quick... this is Sonnet 4.5, and we got Opus 4.1 right here, which you can use still, and more models. So we could do this real quick and take a look at this. So let's go to Sonnet 4.5 and say, write me a 500-word short story about, let's say, a interstellar empire collapsing in the style of Neil Gaiman. Avoid AI-isms and cliches in the writing. Okay, let's check this out, see how this does. And drafting the artifact and the like. So here we've got the last embassy on Kepler. It loves Kepler. It always uses Kepler. 442b. Closed on a Thursday and nobody remembered. Ambassador, it used the same names as Ambassador Chen. So it's using AIism still. These are name conventions and prose that it uses. Who kept Earth time way other people kept photographs of dead lovers. She dismissed the staff at noon. The protocol officer left first, carrying a box containing 300 years of diplomatic seals that would never stamp another document. The communication array has gone silent 6 months ago. The defense grid 4 months. The pension fund 2 weeks last Thursday. What will you do? Asked Yuki, her attaché, who had violet skin and gills that never touched water. Wait, said Chen. Someone should. The Empire hadn't followed the way it does in holodramas, so it already did this too. It didn't do this. It did this. Is another AIism that it does. It loves to do that kind of formatting right there. And let's see. She told it. I'm just looking for different things. It loves to use the word fundamental. Let's see if that is fundamental. Didn't use that. Precision. Nope, not in there. So it did pretty well about avoiding that. Let's see. Stomach is another one. Let's see. Physical is another word it likes to use. So it didn't use a lot of the AI-isms in the first 500 words I gave it at the very least. But it did a couple of things that I noticed as AI tells in here as well. So here's what the summary of it is. I added that gaming quality of finding mythology in small, strange moments, the way bureaucracy can be tragic, how empires without bangs. That's what it did, and explained how it was like Neil Gaiman for me, which is kind of nice on that level. Now let's feed this into Claude Sonnet 4 and see what it actually does here versus that. So, boom. And let's see. Oh, model not available right now. Of course, I can't test it. Oh, that's too bad. I would say that, like, on average, just from what I've seen on my AI writing, that it is that it did do less AI-isms than I've seen before, and so that is a positive thing on this, on the level of the reasoning on this. But there are still quite a few AI-isms there. All right, so your mileage may vary with Claude Sonnet 4.5, but still an exciting update. And of course, as I test more, I will give you more information on that here on the AI Writer channel. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll be back soon.